Cornelius Stripling, Senior Chief, United States Navy. Got orders from orders to go to VS-32 in Jacksonville. And actually, I selected that myself because I re-enlisted. I had a choice. And I read about the S3 in the Approach magazine, maintenance magazine. And it had all these nice, you know, computerized, all this stuff. Everything that the T2 didn't have, the S3 had. And I wanted to work on this airplane with all this equipment in it, which they sent us out to, we had to go out to North Island, California for 6. I went out, I took 2 classes out there, one for ComNav and the other one for non-acoustic sensors. And my chief wanted someone, at least one guy from the shop that could work with the squadron out there and get to really know the airplane. So that he chose me to do that because I was stationed at home. There he is stationed at home. So well, yeah, can you go to San Diego for 6 months? Hey, okay, I can do that. So I learned this airplane. You know, I learned a lot from him, and he used to get phone calls at home on my off-duty hours. We're having trouble with this. Do you? Which was okay, you know, every now and then. Yeah, well, did you try doing this? The next time I went aboard carrier, it was the Nimitz. We went on carrier calls, and walking down on Pier 12 in Norfolk, and the Nimitz on one side, and I think the America was on the other. And you look up at these 2 big, beautiful ships and just know we could take over the world if we wanted to. I was with VS-32. And like I say, we were doing carrier calls, which, you know, the pilots got to go out and qualify to fly on the deck. The Nimitz was basically right out of the yards at the time. It had been out for sea trials, and the flight deck had been certified, which I didn't know about until I got to Pax River. But deck had been certified, and we go out. We fly from Jacksonville up to Norfolk, and we walk on board. And we give us berthing compartments, and we put all our, you know, you put your gear away, and then like the next day you got to put away all the stuff that you bring, you know, to service the airplane with. You put all that stuff away, and we went up on the flight deck, which seems like, you know, there's no airplanes, it's safe. And you're walking around, and it's the first time I've been on a super carrier, and yeah, it's a lot of space up there. Well, we started flight operations, and only to find out they didn't put enough non-skid on the flight deck. And once the airplanes with oil and grease and tire rubber and stuff, it was so slippery up there it was ridiculous. Matter of fact, I thought we'd kill somebody. One of our airplanes came in and nose wheel steering didn't work, so they hooked a tractor up to it to park it in front of the island. While they were doing that, the ship made a big turn. So the tractor's trying to push this airplane uphill, lost traction, and went around and went under the left engine, where the tractor driver was sitting. But he seen what was happening and got off. But I was looking, they were throwing trash off the fantail, and I'm looking at that, and I turn around, there's a tractor under the engine, and I'm going, we killed somebody. But we didn't. You know, the guy jumped off. We just went out at Norfolk, and when my squadron was done, they flew us back to Norfolk off the ship. Well, first of all, they were using a C1, which had two big engines on it, prop driven, and you're sitting in the back and you're facing backwards, and it would take off, and of course you're leaning forward while it's taken off, and as soon as it got off the deck, basically it would sink about a good 20 feet down. And you're looking up at the ship, you know, and it would climb out and go on. But it was it was an old airplane, and used it was avgas because it was a regular engine, and they wanted to get rid of them so bad, but they had no replacement for it. So